Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Yes, indeed. This is nutritional pharmacist Jerry Hickey. I'm also the senior scientific officer over here at Invite Health. And I'd like to talk to you today about all of that hand washing we're doing and that disinfecting we're doing to keep the coronavirus at bay. And that's not a bad thing, but the problem is it can affect your good bacteria. It can kill off some of your good bacteria. See, there's trillions of bacteria living with us. They live on us, they live in us, and there's always some bad ones and there's always some good ones. You want the good ones to be in control. So often you hear the term probiotic. A probiotic is a supplement of good bacteria to help keep the good ones under control. And this is very important because all of these bacteria interact with us in very special ways. So you need the good bacteria to be in charge, not just for regularity and not just for good digestion, but also to help you fight off infections, which is very important during this whole coronavirus situation. About 70% of your immune cells come in contact with your digestive tract and with your bacteria. If there's bad bacteria, they kind of confuse the immune system, they don't keep it under control, and if it's good bacteria, they interact in a very wholesome way with your immune system, helping to reduce inflammation, very good thing, and helping to direct the bacteria against what it should be fighting, which is infectious organisms. So you need good bacteria for your immune system. You want the good bacteria to be in charge, but good bacteria have also been shown to be helpful with allergies, pollen allergies and food allergies, inflammation, keeping inflammation at bay. Inflammation is a bad thing, especially during an infection. It can make an infection very dangerous. That's what's happening with the coronavirus. The SARS-2 coronavirus, which causes COVID-19 infection, it inflames you. So if you're already pre-inflamed, it's adding inflammation on top of inflammation, and this is having devastating effects against the patients. They wind up admitted to the intensive care units. They wind up on respirators or needing oxygen. Not a good thing. So you need the good bacteria to be in charge. So we do know that social distancing, wearing your mask outside, when you're not with your bubble of friends and family, and also washing your hands, doing that happy birthday to you twice in a row, helps to remove the virus. But it does affect your good bacteria. Now, just to let you know, there are strains of probiotic bacteria that you can take that have been shown to enhance the immune system. Lactobacillus rhamnosus, Lactosporogenes, Lactobacillus plantarum, but especially Bifidobacterium animalis subspecies lactis. This seems to have the most research behind it, that it really helps promote immune system function. For instance, a recent meta-analysis, a review of 5 human clinical trials, shows that within weeks, the Bifidobacterium lactis, they abbreviated to that, Bifidobacterium lactis, helps restore good immune system function in aging people. That's very important. Aging people like me, we go through immunosenescence. Our immune system gets broken down. It's just not as effective for protecting us against the flu and pneumonia and bacteria and also cancer. So if you can help restore it with probiotic bacteria, that's a very significant thing because they're also good for constipation, diarrhea, digestion, gasiness, bloating, allergies. I mean, you get a lot of benefits out of good bacteria. We're finding that good bacteria enhance blood sugar control, immune system resistance to infection, brain health. There's actually a gut-brain axis of interaction, good digestion and regularity, even appetite control. Now, let me give you a little example of how probiotic bacteria interact with the immune system. Years ago, they spoke about the cleanliness hypothesis, that children that are overly clean, they wind up with higher incidence of allergies. In fact, they found that children that lived with pets and children that lived on farms in general had fewer allergies. And they thought that this was because of their exposure to many different bacteria, because we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different species of bacteria living with us. They live on our scalp. If there's an imbalance of bacteria in our scalp, we get dandruff. An imbalance of bacteria in the eyes, like in people with contact lens wearers, they get infections. An imbalance of bacteria in the skin, you wind up with acne, and so on and so forth. An imbalance of bacteria in the vaginal tissue leads to yeast infections, and the urinary tract leads to urinary tract infections. So the balance of bacteria is really important, and having a wide exposure to bacteria is also very important. So many decades ago, there was the reunification of East Germany and West Germany. West Germany was highly industrialized. It was a very prosperous Western nation. So when you went to their grocery store, they had all kinds of household cleaners and detergents and soaps, etc. And in East Germany, they weren't doing so well economically. So the children there were exposed to fewer household cleaners and chemicals, etc. So it was an interesting sort of experiment, and allergists and pediatricians noted that the children in East Germany had a lower incidence of allergies and asthma than the children in West Germany. And since then, it's come to light that this probably had to do with a lot of the household cleaning fluids. When you smell these cleaning fluids, they're getting into you. They also kill off your good bacteria. Now, just a couple of comments on buying a probiotic supplement. First of all, you want to look for CFU. All of our products with probiotic bacteria are CFU. That means colony-forming units. This ensures that there's a minimal amount of live bacteria, as stated on the label, and they're going to help recolonize your digestive tract in your body, because these good bacteria wind up migrating all over your body. Within a week or two, they're reaching women's breasts, where they're breaking down chemicals in the milk ducts in their breasts, so they're protective for the breasts. Within a week or two, they're reaching the urinary tract and the vaginal tissue and the lungs, so they get all over the body rather quickly, and over time, they help restore health and balance throughout the body. Good thing. So you want CFU, colony-forming units. You know they're alive. You want more than one strain. All the research shows that you need at least 2 strains, and you need at least 1 billion of each to get some kind of health enhancement, some kind of benefit. And adding a prebiotic is helpful. So the bacteria are called a probiotic. A prebiotic is food for the bacteria. My old friend Dr. Alan Pressman used to say, you wouldn't buy goldfish without goldfish food. Why would you buy probiotic bacteria without probiotic bacteria food? So this is food for the bacteria that ensures greater success for them to colonize and increase in number in your digestive tract. So examples of a prebiotic, suitable prebiotics would be FOS, which stands for fructooligosaccharides, or chicory root. These are kinds of fiber that the bacteria feed on, and they're very health enhancing. So before we go any further, a call to action for you. We're washing our hands a lot. We're very diligent about it. We're cleaning all kinds of surfaces. Good idea to do a probiotic supplement right now. Make sure you're getting a cross-section of probiotic bacteria, at least 2 strains, preferably 3, 4, 5 strains. Make sure there's at least 1 billion of each, preferably 2 billion of each. You want Bifidobacterium lactis in there, because that's really good for your immune system, and there's nothing wrong with that during the times of the coronavirus, right? So here's some of the data. Clinical and Experimental Allergy is the journal, and we're looking at the hygiene hypothesis over in Germany. And this is differences in allergy trends between East and West Germany after the reunification. What are some of the possible explanations? And guess what? It came down to bacterial exposure and exposure to household chemicals killing off the good bacteria. And there's a lot more to go with that. There's many studies looking at this. So here's the journal Nature Microbiology. It's the University of Oklahoma and the University of California, San Diego, and about 20 other academic research institutions, including Rutgers University over in New Jersey, the State University of New Jersey. So they're looking at developing cultures in the Amazonian rainforest. So they're looking at the level of modern urbanization. And what they found is when they start to urbanize, when they start to modernize these cultures in the Amazonian rainforest, it affects the composition of bacteria in their intestines. And the greater the level of modern urbanization, the greater the degree of change of the bacterial species in the intestines. And it's all dependent on the degree of exposure to household cleaning products and antimicrobial agents. And this led to really large-scale effects on the gut bacteria. It really had an impact. And there's a lot of studies showing this, by the way. So here's the Canadian Medical Association Journal. It's Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health down in Baltimore. And they said, hey, the prevalence of obesity continues to rise globally, everywhere. And high use of disinfectants has been shown to reduce household presence of microbes and to alter the microbiome in animals. So when they do research on animals, when they use all these cleaning things, all these sprays we use in the bathroom, in the kitchen, etc., it affects gut microbes. So there's new research now that looked at the effects of household cleaning agents and their effect on the bacteria in the intestines of children at 3 to 4 months of age and how this affects their weight later on, childhood obesity. And they found no two ways about it. Very specifically, the more frequent the use of cleaning fluids in infancy, the more likely these children were going to become obese later on in life. And it had to do with the level of exposure to household disinfectants. Now, if they were eco-friendly products, more natural products, they weren't causing this problem. And also detergents were not causing these problems. It was all those household cleaning sprays that you clean your kitchen table with and your toilet bowl with and your bathroom sink with, that they kill everything. So here's the journal Indoor Air inside your house, right? It's the University of Oregon over in Eugene, Oregon, Northwestern University over in Illinois, Virginia Polytechnic Institute, and other academic research institutions. And they basically said, listen, we're overly clean. We're like sterilizing and sanitizing and disinfecting everything. And they call it a scorched earth cleansing mentality. And they're saying this really affects us. It really affects our probiotic bacteria. So the take-home message here, and I could quote a lot of other studies on this, but it's more the same. The take-home message is it's a good idea right now to be disinfecting things to remove the virus, the coronavirus. It's a good idea to wash our hands. It's a good idea to be preventive and safe. However, it's also a good idea to replenish your good bacteria because you need them for good digestion, you need them for regularity, you need them for the immune system itself to fight off viruses and bacterial infections. So my recommendation, get on a probiotic supplement, make sure it's a good one, make sure it has at least 2 strains of bacteria, make sure there's at least 1 billion of each. It'd be good if they added food for the bacteria, like FOS or chicory root. Take it daily. And also, if it could have Bifidobacterium animalis subspecies lactis, which is abbreviated Bifidobacterium lactis, that species, that strain has been proven to bring back the immune system and make the immune system a better fighter against other bacteria and against viruses. I think that's a really good recommendation for you right now. Thank you for tuning into the Invite Health podcast. You can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Please subscribe. Please leave us a review. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. Now, before I sign off, before I say we'll see you next time on another episode of the Invite Health podcast, let me give you an email address. It connects you to about 5 of our nutritionists in case you have a question on anything I've said on this podcast. Nutrition@invitehealth.com. Nutrition@invitehealth.com. So we'll see you next time on another episode of the Invite Health podcast. Thank you so much for listening.